Here's another example of just this. Such a great documentation of just how much of a fucking clown realm that we're in. And as at ENMSC, or ENMSC, yes, has said here, and this is a chart here, and this is what he said. Somehow New Zealand's lockdowns, mask mandating 72% population partial vaccination rate have not been able to control the latest outbreak despite incredibly strict rules and enforcement. But hey, at least they're going to set up a two-tiered society based on vaccination status. And if you don't know what that's referring to, it's that horse face. What is he, a prime minister? I don't know what y'all call y'all leader over there. The horse face chick was specifically asked that it sounds like you're kind of having this sort of second class citizenry deal going on. And she said, that's exactly what we're doing. And this is how cocky a lot of these leaders are. And that they're just admitted, the mistakes that have been made by a lot of people, including folks with funny mustaches. Oh, when you call them, they wouldn't deem them as mistakes. But you get what it is that I'm saying. They're repeating it over here again with the vaccination status. And as you can see, these are the daily new cases, and they are higher than they have ever been. And remember, everybody was bragging about New Zealand at that one point. New Zealand, they showed that you can stomp out the virus. So did Australia. And meanwhile, they're dealing with the problem that every fucking body else is dealing with, regarding in some cases worse. I'm not saying like with death and that. I'm talking about with their case rates. And as you're seeing right now with New Zealand, they're higher than what they've ever been, even at the peak of this going back into last year. Look, all I'm doing is showing you the data. You cannot. A lot of people speak out of both sides of the mouth because they want things to be true. Okay? And a lot of people don't want to concede that, look, they've been lied to, man. They've been lied to. You were lied to, or maybe, some things happen and there's some efficiency rate change. Whatever you want to attribute it to. What they said was supposed to happen didn't happen. Let's just say that. No matter where you're at, it doesn't. Being mad at folks like myself who point a lot of this stuff out does you no good, because at some point you still have to accept the reality of the situation. And the reality is exactly this. It didn't stop the transmission, and you're having breakouts regarding cases, meaning that, even though which doesn't make sense, right? If it was happening in the way that they said it was supposed to happen, when you had a rise in vaccinations, hell, you look at March on this list of last year, April, it wasn't a vaccine. But it doesn't make sense why you have places in the world where, despite having vaccinations in the first place and also high vaccination rates, the case rates are also up. You can't explain that unless you can say something ain't working in the way that they said that it was working. Because remember, they sold this under the idea and under the sham, and some people are still holding on to the lie. This is why they want your kids to be vaccinated. They say, well, they could still, it's important for them to get it because they could still end up passing it to someone else. What are you talking about? They could still pass it to someone else when they're vaccinated. We've seen that. Okay? That's the part of it that's the sham. You cannot say that that is preventing that, while also the numbers go up. Not the other way, they're going up. If it worked in the way they said, as we saw vaccination rates go up, we should have saw case rates just immediately plummet. But instead, it ain't that they're even keeping equal, because even if they kept at the same rate, that would still prove that it's bullshit, but it's worse. This looks exactly like what it looks in, actually it looks worse in New Zealand, right? In New Zealand, it was more looking like this, and then it went up here. They never really had one of these. But either way, they're having higher case rates than what they ever had. That's what the data shows. How do you explain that? I can explain it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, or in this case, maybe an epidemiologist, to really understand what the fuck's going on. It's simply put, at minimum, you have to concede it doesn't work like you thought that it would. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work, period, in like it being maybe a symptom mitigator. That's not what it is that I'm saying. I'm saying at best, that's it. You protecting yourself. But this idea that you're just preventing transmission because you up and got jabbed, and you're just a better human being, you're moral, you're ethical, right? Because you're it's for the greater good of society that you went and got this jab. Well, congratulations, motherfucker. All you did was maybe protect yourself. That's it. At best, that's all you can say, because it's not preventing transmission.
You just watched a clip from our podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.